Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how I manifested my dream life, surrendering to your wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Big video this morning really comes from an email that I received yesterday from a subscriber. And I'm going to talk about this situation. They were without a job. They just had graduated recently, I guess in the last few months. He wasn't specific on this. And he was looking for a job, struggling in the market, felt that he wasn't getting offers. And also at the same time, someone he loved, I'm going to give you the wording from his email, some of the wording, had left him. And this is what he said. And I'm going to talk about how he manifested his dream life. In other words, how he occupied the identity of that person that's already living that life and really manifested the dream job. Not a general dream job. He was specific about it. And I want to talk about how he surrendered to that. So hear this. Recent college graduate, right? How I manifested my dream, struggling to find a job. He says this: someone I love had disappeared as well with no explanation. So he graduated, not finding a job, struggling it, and then someone that he loved had disappeared as well with no explanation. He said, all of this had destroyed me. I felt so lost and unrecoverable. Look, feel the words here, lost and unrecoverable. Well, what he's also pointing to here is his old identity, that old reality. It's gone, right? He decided not to recover that old identity. And we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, but that's what he was feeling. He goes, then I found your teachings. And hear this, he goes, I focused on the dream, what I saw in my dream job, in my dream life. Okay, we've talked about this many times, focusing on the end, focusing on the new identity. So what's different? What moved him this time? This time he surrendered to it. In other words, he left that old identity. He surrendered to his wish fulfilled. It wasn't about giving up or giving in to anything, meaning in resignation. Instead, he was giving up to the higher power, giving in to his wish fulfilled, giving in to that new identity. Do you hear this, right? He allowed himself to be surrounded by the answer and enveloped by his desire. Remember, we talked about that in Scripture, in John 16, 23, 24, in the modern day Bible, in the translations of that modern day Bible, are an edited version, in that there were edits in the 4th century that Greg Braden talks about in his teachings, that these two sentences that centered around being surrounded by your answer and enveloped by your desire were edited out, telling you how to ask, how to pray, how to focus, in other words, on your dream, how to focus on your wish fulfilled, right? And here he really became surrounded by the answer and enveloped by his desire, to such an extent it became a surrender to that higher power to bring it to him. He goes, this is what he said towards the end of his email: as soon as control is relinquished to God, he presents you with the path. This is his belief, and it's perfect for this session. So I want to talk about this. How did he do it? That's really the question, because it's all of your questions, right? A lot of it is asking, how do I do it, or what do I do, or am I doing something wrong? But remember, in all of those questions, as you ask that, you create the reality of looking for an answer. You don't create the reality by being surrounded by it. You're creating the reality of looking for it and not having it. You want to create the reality of being surrounded by that answer, being enveloped by your desire. He let go of control, the stress, the desire. This is what he said, right? This is coming from his email. I let go of control. So, in other words, surrendered the stress and the desire over the outcome of this whole thing. Do you see? He goes, I relaxed. I sat back and trusted. In other words, I stopped trying to make it happen. I moved to that inner conviction, right? Trusting fully in my I amness, trusting fully that I'm surrounded by the answer, right? That I'm enveloped by my design. I gave up the desiring and wanting and forcing the outcome, right? He gave up trying to control it. He didn't give up in resignation as in giving in to 3D conditions, right? He's not giving up as in resignation or giving in to these unbearable conditions. One where that he's struggling to find a job and is not getting any offers, and two, where his SP, specific person, is gone without a trace. And we're going to learn more about that. We're going to focus on the dream job, which he manifested, and then we'll have a follow-up when I hear from him on his SP. He didn't give up in resignation, and he didn't give in to 3D conditions. What did he do? The inner conditions. When we're talking about giving in to 3D conditions, we're talking about the inner conditions of thinking and feeling, right? Those inner conditions of thinking and feeling, destroyed, lost, unrecoverable. He had these as inner conditions: feeling lost, feeling destroyed, feeling unrecoverable, identifying with him something that's unrecoverable, a reality, a version of himself, right? These are the inner conditions. He didn't give in to those. He didn't give in to the outer conditions of struggling so hard, this is his words, to find work. And their SP, his SP, specific person, leaving, disappearing as well with no explanation. No job, no offers, no SP, she's disappearing. Do you see that? He didn't give in to any of that. He didn't give up that dream. He didn't give up that desired end. He gave up the resistance, right? He surrendered to it. So let's hit this a little bit more. Surrendered trying to control the outcome. Surrendered trying to fix, resolve, or just get right inner and outer conditions. Do you see? He gave all that up to where? Up to your higher self, up to your I am, up to that natural ability when you let go for God to, and that higher you, to work it out, to lead you along the path of resistance, over the bridge of incidence to everything you want. Let go of the desiring and trying to possess the dream job and dream life. Do you see? We want to hold on to it. We want to possess it. We want to hold so tight to that desire and not let it go until we make something happen or force something to happen. You can't do that. He let go of that, trying to possess it. He said he was relaxed, sat back and trusted. Hear this, right? Sat back in that relaxed knowing that he has set the intention, that he has imagined it, that he has affirmed it, he has announced that new reality. And I'm going to show you what he did in terms of the dream job in a second. He allowed that higher power and his natural ability as a divine creator, I am, to work as and through him. He gave it upwards to source, upwards to his higher powers, gave it upwards to I am. That's really, in a reality creation context, that's really the meaning of giving up. That's really the meaning of giving in. Giving in to that higher power, giving in to that I am, into source. That's the true meaning of those words, right? And here's what he said, and this is big. I pointed to this in yesterday's video when we had a question on whether I should be specific or go general. Right? And remember, going general might help release some of the resistance, right? You're also losing focus off your desire. Do you see this? You can go general, and that's okay. Go for the general feeling of fulfillment. All of that's powerful because remember, what do we really want? We want the freedom. We want the feeling of love. We want that feeling of being source behind it. So all that's good. But that doesn't mean that you can't be specific about what you want. So there's nothing wrong with going general, but he got specific and didn't worry about being too specific, as this is what I truly wanted. These are his words. Hear this. I want to look at this. Nothing wrong with going general. Remember, what's behind every desire? To close that feeling of separation, that you feel separated from your source. That you feel separated from that love, that you feel separated from your higher self or from God. So I got specific and didn't worry about being too specific, as this is what I truly wanted. In other words, my heart and mind were truly aligned. Heart and mind is when things matter. That's when you bring it in. When the heart and mind are lined up, what you truly want, what you truly desire, with that intention, with that declaration, announcement that it's yours. Right? I am that. That's absolute conviction. Identified with and as the version of yourself in the dream job, living the dream. I am that. Unity of heart and mind. Hear this. Very specific. I am that. I didn't worry about being too specific. And here's the thing. On my birthday, I got an offer. This is what he said. He got it on his birthday. Feel the power of that. On his birthday, I am, right? Representing that remember that birth date is the 3D representation of your I am, or who you think you are, right? Born into this world, moving from the spiritual into the physical. On his birthday, on the day that he entered the physical experience, right? In this specific reality, in this specific lifeline that he's living, he manifested, I got my offer. That's powerful, right? And so here's what he says. On my birthday, I got an offer from, he was very specific, from a specific thing that he wanted, to work on a specific project in the specific field. I didn't put these here because I don't want to get specific with his information, but he was, right? It was a big thing, right? Big technology that he was working on, a big project, right? A technology leading project at a technology leading organization. That's what he wanted, and that's what he got offered. And here's what he said. He goes, I wrote it down on paper. In other words, I chose it, right? I wrote down on paper the dream of what they wanted, the dream of what he wanted. I am that. In other words, he wrote down that, and here's how he worded it, right? Because many times we're afraid to use the word want, right? But remember, it's not the word want that's the problem. It's the wanting and believing that you don't have it. The wanting and believing you're separated from it. Here he used want from the idea that it's my choice, that it's mine. Do you hear it? That he's not separated from it. And so when he wrote this, he said, I want a job working in a specific field on the leading edge technology of this historic project. He was specific, but I just put project here, right? I want to work in a famous place, he put, and on that project. So he named the place, he named the project, he named the work, he chose it. He said, I want it, I choose it, I am that. See, do you see the idea? So it's not the word want that's really the issue here. It's you're saying, I am that job. I am that working on that project. I am that identity working on that leading edge technology. I am that identity in that historic project. I choose that. I am that. That's my dream, and that dream is mine, and I'm living it now. Wow. That's powerful. To give up in the context of reality creation, here I've covered this in a few videos now, I think, on both channels. And here's the definition in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. To yield control or possession of, to surrender. Hear this. I love this definition of giving up. This is, in a reality creation standpoint, context, it's not about controlling the outcome. It's not about possessing your desire. You're yielding control. You're yielding possession. Right? Remember, when you try to possess it, you kill your desire in your effort to possess it. Right? I talked about this in a few videos where Vadim Zeland in reality transurfing talks about like going by a beautiful field of flowers. And then you stop and you smell them and you're enjoying them. You're enjoying the experience of the flowers, the experience of reality. But you're not trying to possess it. But then as soon as you go, I want to keep this, I want to have these flowers, and you pick them, you pluck them from their source. Do you hear it now? You put them on your car seat and now they die as you're driving. Right? You tried to possess it. You killed your desire by trying to possess it, by plucking it from its source. Your source, right? You don't have to possess that desire. It's already within you, right? Surrender and abandon yourself to your dream and your wish fulfilled. That's the second definition, the Merriam-Webster. To desist from. In other words, abandon. Desist from what? Desist from trying to possess it. Desist from being frustrated, from trying to make something happen. Let go of that old reality and that old identity who's trying to make something happen. Let go of that old identity. This old identity that felt destroyed, that in his words, right? That's felt lost. He let that go. and surrendered to his new identity, surrendered to who he is now. Wow, that's powerful. And got the exact offer on his birthday, where he wanted to work, the leading edge project that he wanted to work on, what he wanted to do, all of it, right? It's never about giving up your dream, wish, or what you truly want in resignation, right? Because that's what he truly wanted. It's the inspiration. It's not resignation. I've mentioned this in a few videos now. It's inspiration. The inbreathing of spirit is what inspiration means, right? Spirit or life or love or that I am that you are. And knowing what you want is already yours. It's the inspiration of knowing that he had. I want it because I know I have it. That's the inspiration we're talking about. It's not resignation. You're giving up or upwards to that unlimited spirit that I am within you. You're giving upwards to that I am. And on the other hand, it's not about trying to possess, control, or hold on to your desire. It's none of that, right? Or your dream you wish fulfilled, that you hold on to so tightly that you separate it from its source. I talked about picking the flowers, right? There it is in its soil. Admire it, smell it, enjoy the experience of it. It's already yours. But trying to pick it, trying to pluck it from the soil, trying to possess it, trying to force the outcome, trying to make something happen, you kill it, right? So this is a big point today. It's not about giving in to 3D conditions either, right? I just give in, right? But rather giving into your higher self, your I am, going within, in other words. To give in the context of reality creation, this is from Oxford Dictionary, to cease fighting or arguing, yield, surrender, right? Stop the arguing, remember, be still, or in other words, cease striving and know I am God. Cease fighting, cease striving, cease struggling, cease arguing with yourself. Yield, surrender to it. To give in and give upwards to whom you really are, to your ideal and your new identity. To your ideal and new identity. Let go, I let go of, and here's what he says, right? I let go of the control, the stress, the desire over the outcome of this whole thing. I relaxed, I sat back, and I trusted. In other words, I was giving upwards and giving in to my source. Wow. That's so powerful. So, give up the stress, give up the worry, give up the doubt, the frustration to your higher power. It can handle it. Let it absorb it back into the field of quantum possibilities, to that power. Your I am can handle it. Give it to that, give it up to that. So here you go, I am. Here you go, God. Here you go, love. Here you go, higher self. Here you go, inner being. It's yours. To be dissolved back into the field potential. It's all part of reality. So you don't want to get rid of it. It's not about getting rid of it. It's not about denying it. It's letting it go back into that potential of which you are, right? Prayer is a surrender. Neville Goddard, it means abandoning oneself to the feeling. In other words, the conviction, let go and let God, of the wish fulfilled, right? It means abandoning oneself, letting go, letting God. Abandoning yourself to what? To the conviction. That feeling is a conviction of your wish already fulfilled. To allow oneself to be taken over by emotion. This comes from Oxford. Right? That's about what letting go and letting God is, right? That's surrender, that's giving in, that's giving up, to allow oneself to be taken over by an emotion. What's the emotion? The emotion is source. There's only one emotion. It's energy in motion. It's source. It's love. When we feel something else, we're putting it through a filter of a thought or assumption. And when you're not feeling anything but love and joy and peace, which is source energy, you're putting it through some bogus filter, thought, or assumption that is not true to who you are, not true to your source. So allow yourself to be taken over by that emotion of source, Oxford, right? To be surrounded by the answer, to be enveloped by your desire, right? It's energy, emotion, that's love. To give up and give in to your I am and higher self is a decision and choice to claim and assume your new reality and identity. Really, that's what he did, right? He gave in, gave up. It was a decision and choice to be surrounded by the answer, to be enveloped by his desire, and then got that. And so why is it his dream life? Because his dream job, he moved into his dream identity. And when he moved into that dream identity, that offer was there. And now the SP will be there too, and we'll follow up with that as that unfolds, right? How I manifested my dream life, surrendering to your wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, but we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. We have a Facebook page, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, where you can share insight and guidance with others and ask for insight and guidance. You can visit us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. Or we also have a Facebook organization page at Be Something Wonderful. You can go there. Or just go to our website anytime at tomkearin.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Guys, in coaching, this has been one of our busiest months ever. I mean, back-to-back sessions, more coaching than ever in 1 month, and the month's not over yet. So the calendar is a few days out, but we're getting there. We're managing it all. It's wonderful. I'm here for you, but more importantly, we're going to have more content every day, right? There's also something coming up big for the membership channel. There's a link below if you want to join that. There'll be more content coming there. There'll be a video coming on that shortly. Guys, we're great love, we're great light, and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin with Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, see you soon.